I'm talking to you today about attracting love into your life, manifesting this relationship, this elusive twin flame, soulmate, divine union, the love of all loves, the thing that you came to this life knowing that you were destined to be a part of. Where is that love? And why? Why do so many relationships land up feeling empty instead? You know, when you know that there is this love, this promised love, it's kind of like the promised land, that you've got this inkling, you've got this waft that has always blown through your life. And every now and then you get a little whiff of it and you go, oh, wait, I remember. It's kind of like you get this clear-headed moment and you go, I remember that I was meant to be in love at a level of divinity. That's what I'm meant to participate in. Somewhere there's not just a missing part of me, but there is a wholeness that when I step into it, it shifts everything. It's the domino that shifts every other domino in my life. And it feels like once that happens, the whole world shifts along with me. It's that kind of a feeling. So you get these whiffs, you get these wafts blowing through your life, reminding you, but it's not meant to be struggle-filled relationships. It's not meant to be devoid of substance. They're not meant to be meaningless and empty and futile and all focused on the physical. They're meant to be something else, deeper, profound, divine even. So we're talking today about how do you attract true love into your life. If you're in a loving relationship, is it empty? Why is it empty? If you're not in a loving relationship, I want to talk to you about how you attract that relationship in. Maybe you're going to listen to this and think, oh, I've got a friend who really needs to hear this conversation. Forward this to your friend. Let them know that you love them and that you support them, because this information can be it's not can be, it is. It is life-changing. How much of this you're going to be willing to apply, that's up to each one of you listening. This conversation, I'm going to talk to you about manifesting, creating. And the moment I do that, the moment I talk to you about creating something in your life, what do you think? Don't you just think, oh, law of attraction? And doesn't everybody have some sense of familiarity with what that means? Oh yeah, that's when you manifest something into your life or someone into your life. And as I explain the next piece of information to you, some of you are going to jump to the conclusion. You're going to go, Kerry's got a beef with law of attraction, And if you do jump to that conclusion, you're right. Because it is something that is exactly, this is going to describe to you exactly how and where humanity was purposefully misled within the spiritual community. There were truths, absolute truths, like you create your own reality. It's an absolute truth. You do. You are the master of your reality. But that truth was presented in such a way that a person trying to follow the grains of truth were only ever going to get lost. Why? Because the way that law of attraction, or that the secret, all that stuff about manifesting your reality, the way that it was presented to humanity was to say, focus on the outcome, the house, the car, the boat, the lover, the healing from disease. That's where you want to go. So it was like a carrot on the end of a stick. And so people began looking toward outcomes, and they thought that that's what they needed to do. I've got to have single-minded focus, got to keep focused on this lover, this job, this car, whatever it is. See, I can't talk to you about manifesting a relationship without clearing up this issue first. The law of attraction is true in the sense that you absolutely create your own reality. No part of that is a lie or can even be disputed. But do you create your own reality because you say, like, do you use words and you say, this wealth is mine, this lover is mine, I'm bringing it into my life, or it is in my life already? Is it about words? No. What did I just do to my hair? Did I make it crazy? Guys, look how much my hair's growing out. This is the third time since I shaved it that I'm trying my damnedest to grow it out. But every time it gets to around about here, I'll end up shaving it again, because I reckon I'll end up looking like a bit of a tennis ball. It's not my best look. So yeah, I'm trying. Anyway, crazy hair day. The law of attraction has to be addressed so that we can overcome the misunderstandings, so that we can get into the actual truth, so that you can actually manifest the love of your life. Because I want that for you, because I live in that. I've been married for 11 years, could be 12, who knows. I don't keep track of dates. It's about that, of just 11 years of beauty. And that doesn't mean there weren't hard times. There absolutely were, and there were misunderstandings, and there were all of those things in between. But there's a level of sheer divinity in my love life, in my marriage. And I'm not telling you got to get married, and I'm not telling you've got to have a relationship like this. I'm saying to you it's possible if you know how. And if you don't lead yourself down that garden path, which I'm telling you is going to end in a rose bush with mega thorns in your butt, that's exactly where you don't want to go. You don't want to go that path of becoming outcomes based, writing a list. I want my lover to have all of these features, or these traits, or these qualities. This is what law of attraction told us, humanity. And there were so many gaping holes in those stories, such as the fact that you don't create using words, you create using energy, and the energy creates the words. But do you know why this information has been withheld? Because most people will misunderstand it. Because most people don't understand themselves as an energetic being. They're not connected. But you're my audience, and if you're not following my channel, you've somehow come across this video, then something in the universe is telling you you're capable of perceiving of yourself at this level, not as a thought machine, but as an omnipotent energetic presence in the world. Beyond language, you are vibration, you are frequency. And when you hone in, zone in, tune into yourself there, in that place, your world changes. You change it. And what happens is you start to get mighty comfortable in your presence. And now when this happens, when you start to get comfortable in your presence, this is why people use words like embodiment. You embody the divine self. And the embodiment of the divine self happens because you tune into this magical place called the now, and you get present in your life. And when you're present in your life and you're energetically connected to who you are as potent, universal, infinite life force that happens to be flowing through a physical vehicle, so you become aware of yourself as a cosmic thing. Imagine that. Imagine knowing your cosmic eternal self and going, yeah, that's me. Because right now, for most people, you look in the mirror and you look at your clothes and you look at all the surface level stuff and you say, that's me. And if you're really deep, then you're going to go to the emotional level and say, oh yeah, that's also me. I'm asking you to go way deep. I'm asking you to connect with the cosmic infinite truth of who you are. That is the you that is not separate to the universe, never has been, cannot be, knows itself only in divine states of union. When you bring that in, the magic happens, and the magic is this. You get present in your life. And when you get present in your life, then and only then can you bring a partner into it. You cannot bring a partner into your life until you're in your life. I put up this video. Oh, no, it was actually just a question that I put up on Instagram the other day. And I said, if I say the following statement to you, and the statement is, in order for you to attract someone into your life, you've got to be in it. Does that statement make sense? Most people said, no, it doesn't make sense. And maybe it's me, maybe I phrased it incorrectly, but I think it's much deeper than that. I think it's because most people don't understand the concept. What does she mean? Present in my life? Obviously I am. Obviously I'm present in my life because my eyes are open and I'm looking in a mirror. I must be present. So the presence is assumed, not enacted, not felt, not connected to at that level of depth. So here's what we want. We want relationships of solidity. We want relationships of profundity. We want relationships that are going to be earth-shaking and divine and mind-blowing. We want all of that stuff, but somehow we think we're going to get that without being present. You got to get in your body to relate to yourself, to have a relationship with somebody else. And law of attraction, the big hole that I spoke about earlier, the missing piece of information, where people are focusing on the outcome, it's the stick with the carrot dangling off the end of it. They're following that stick and that carrot, and all they can see is that elusive carrot. And in this case, the carrot is the relationship. And either you step into the relationship and it fails, or you just don't get it at all. Either way, you're still chasing that carrot and going, why is my relationship so empty? He's everything I want, she's everything I dreamed of, but it's not working out. Must be something wrong with me. No, here's the missing key. You forget that you are the person holding the stick with the carrot on the end. You are that cosmic being animating, not just the body holding the stick with the carrot on the end. You are the entirety. You are the whole energy field, including the loved one that you're bringing into your field of experience. You're all of it. So do you understand how zoomed out you've got to get? And what I mean by zoomed out is connected to the totality, the entirety of your energetic field. How do you do this? Number one, you stop assuming that you're present just because your eyes are open and you can look at your watch and tell the time. That does not mean you're present. Just because you can say the time still doesn't mean you're present. Presence is a state of being. It's not a thought. Presence is a state of being, and I want you to really listen to what I'm going to tell you now. Presence is a state of being that when you step into it, number one, it's timeless. But number two, in that pure timelessness of presence, the false matrix drains away. And all that is left, imagine that, the draining away of all of the ego, of the false self, of the illusions, of the delusions, of the insecurities and the unsureness with which you've gone through life. All of that drains away like flood water. It's gone, and all that remains is this pure pristine light called the true self. Presence is that important. Without presence, you can't access the true self. Without the true self, you can't access true love. So presence becomes this missing ingredient, this key to your life. This so easily overlooked. Do you know, just today, I got an email that I often receive. Often. Somebody emails me and says, you know, Kerry, I'm a member of your online community. Love it, love you, love the content, love being there. But I don't have time to participate. And all I hear that person saying is, I'm not my priority. And I'm not telling you, you've got to be in my online community and you've got to make time to watch my content. Make time for you is what I'm saying. Make you your priority. Make your healing your priority. Everything else becomes all the externals. Can you see how you become so invested in all the externals? People spend so much money on all the externals and nothing, not even time. They don't even spend time on the inner self, which is the only real you that's ever existed. All of this is as temporary gets. It is so profoundly important that you get into presence and that you begin to understand that in order for you to occupy space in a relationship, you've got to occupy space in your own universe. And you've got to feel it and you've got to connect to it. When you're in presence, all of that illusion fades away. And then do you know what's left? Self-love. So do you understand what I've just said to you? Self-love, therefore, is not something you attain. It's not words that you say. It's not self-care. It's not lighting candles, having baths, having a massage. All of that is very nice, don't get me wrong. But that's not the definition of self-love. Self-love is your ability to step out of the false self into the true self, where self-love is the natural eminence, the natural radiance of your divine truth. And when you're in that divine truth, divine union becomes the most obvious thing. It's not elusive. It's not separate from you. It's not outside of you. So I want to give you a really beautiful practice right now that you can implement in your life to bring that lover in, if that's you. And if it's not, if you're in a relationship already, I'm going to share a very important piece of information. For those of you who are single and you want to attract somebody into your life, do this. This is what I did before I met my beautiful husband. I felt his presence. But it was like an angel that I didn't even think, honestly, I didn't even think that he could be physical. I thought to myself, wow, I'm probably going to meet this person when I'm dead, when I've crossed over, when we're beyond the physical threshold, maybe when I've ascended, because this love felt so godly. This being to me felt so godly, and when I was with him, I felt so goddess like. I felt the godliness, I felt the sanctity in each of us meeting, and it was pure divinity. It was that moment where I could feel the earth moving and spinning and turning in a way that it's never spun before, and emanating a truth it's never emanated before. And I could feel the ripple, and I knew every human being upon the planet was affected in the most beautiful way, because more divinity was brought home here. And I thought, wow, that's the power of sacred the sacred union. And two sacred humans in sacred union with each other become the ripple for everybody else. It's the most beautiful gift of love to humanity, because there are those humans that will say to you, they'll probably show up in my comment section. I often get it. People say, I'm not here for a relationship. That's great, but you actually are, because you're here for the relationship with yourself then. And that becomes your primary sacred union. Sacred union is for everyone. Nonetheless, I always felt his presence. Always felt his presence. Do that. Let yourself feel the presence of your partner. Even if it feels like it's your imagination, then just imagine, would you? Just don't be shy of your imagination. Don't be afraid to imagine. Because it's through that openness that the imagination conjures, that the imagination allows, that you actually dare and get courageous enough to feel a love beyond the confines of what your analytical mind says is possible. That's why I came to the conclusion, this is obviously a relationship with a twin flame of some sort, but it's, must be. That was my natural deduction. Must be for after this lifetime, after I'm done here. Do you see? If you allow yourself to meet that person before you meet that person, then you've already set up the energetic connection, and you can go there. You can go connect to, and I did. I connected to him many times, and he told me he did the same. He connected to me many times. We both share the same visions of him being in a really difficult situation and me just lying there next to him. I could always feel myself there. I could always feel myself comforting this person, and little did I know, there he was, feeling, not dreaming, not, oh gee, wouldn't it be lovely if someone was here, just feeling this person who he came to know as I came to know him before we met. Meet that person now. And it's okay. There's more to it, but start there. Use your imagination. Use the gift of presence. And now for those of you who are already in a relationship, but you're saying to me, oh, it's empty. I think I need to leave this person. I don't feel fulfilled. Because you're not fulfilled and you're expecting someone else to fulfill you. The real gift of love is self-love. And sometimes you're going to be in a relationship that challenges you to get into self-love deeper. And sometimes that's the perfect relationship and the exact right one for you. Then be in that perfect relationship, perfectly imperfect, I call it. For those of you who feel empty in a relationship, you've got to stop blaming the other person and saying, okay, I feel empty because there's an emptiness in me. And if there was a fullness in me, I wouldn't feel an emptiness outside of me. I would look at my relationship and say, yes, it's lacking something, but I don't feel lack. Yes, there's an emptiness, or it's devoid of that divine union, but I have divine union within me, therefore I'm missing nothing. So wherever you feel an emptiness, fill it up with you first and foremost. And I know people often ask this question, should I stay in my relationship? Should I leave? Stay and fill yourself up with you. But let me just put a disclaimer here. Stay if it's a safe relationship to stay in. Never stay somewhere where you're either in physical or emotional harm. That's just silly. Stay if it's conducive to getting you into a deeper level of love with you. And conducive doesn't mean easy, because sometimes it's very challenging to overcome our own expectations and our own shattered hopes. Sometimes that's the hardest thing to do. But this is where you forge the pathway into you. The connection to self is the ultimate connection. So I've spoken to you about True love being self-love, being that beautiful place wherein everything that is of the false matrix has fallen, and what remains is the pure integrity of the original divine blueprint that you are. Doesn't that make you understand? Wow. I don't have to work to become the true self. The true self already exists. I have to allow the true self to emerge. That's the true work that you're here to do. I'm going to leave a beautiful video up here for you, and if you want to, you can check the video description box where I'm going to leave another one. They're very connected to relationships, and they're going to be very good follow-ons for you to watch from this one. From my heart right into yours. Let it in. Bye-bye for now.